So welcome everybody to this latest video on 162 Maths, and in this video we'll be doing a AQA GCSE Maths Foundation topic test covering basic number. Now as always there'll be a copy of the test paper in the description below for you to have an attempt at before watching this video or while watching this video as we go through the answers. Now before we get started working through this foundation number test, it's worth mentioning that there is no indication whether these questions are non-calculator or calculator questions. So what we're going to do is just going to assume that they're non-calculator, then obviously if they are calculator questions we can then obviously use our calculator. So let's get started on question 1. So question 1 says write the following in order from smallest first. So here what we need to do first is to convert each of these calculations to work out their answers. So the first one is obviously 5. Next one is 2 times 3, which is 6. Next one is 16 divided by 4, which is 4. Then minus 7. And then we've got minus 3 plus 6, which gives me a positive 3. And then we want to write these 5 numbers in the smallest number first. So our smallest number rather is minus 7. I'm just going to tick that off. I can tick the ones that I've done off. The next smallest is 3. Then 4. Then 5, and then 6. It's worth just double checking to make sure you have written all 5 numbers down. So moving on to question 2a, it says work out 196 plus 324 all divided by 4. So let's first of all work out this calculation here. So I've got 196 plus 324, add them up, I get 0, 12, and then 5. So 520 divided by 4. Well, divided by 4 is divided by 2 twice, so then it becomes 520 divided by 2 is going to give me 260, and divided by 2 gives me 130. So the correct answer we should have is 130. Now if you did it a different way but you still got the answer of 130, then kudos to you, we still get the marks for it. Next question then says 267 divided by 3 take away 89. So let's work out this bit here first. So we do set up our bus stop, and I've got 2, 6, 7. So 3 doesn't go into 2, that's going to be 8 remainder 2, and that's going to be 9. So it's 89 minus 89, which is 0. Question 2c, let's do the denominator first. So here we do 2 plus 4, which is 6. So 7, 3, 8 divided by 6. So again, set up my bus stop, and that's going to be 1 remainder 1, 2 remainder 1, and 3, giving me a final answer of 123. Moving on to question 3, it says the tray holds 24 eggs. How many eggs are in 8 full trays? So for this we need to do 24 multiplied by 8. Now it really does depend on how you multiply, so we can either do the column method or you can do the grid method, and it doesn't really matter which one you go for. So just while we're here, let's do this. So it's going to be 192. So looking at question 4, it says in a school tutor groups have a maximum of 24 students. There are 185 students in year 7. Work out the smallest possible number of year 7 tutor groups. You must show you're working out. So to get the smallest number of tutor groups, what we need to do is max out the number of students over the total number of students. So the calculation we need to do is 185 divided by 24. So what we need to do here is do some long division. Now there are several ways in which we can do long division, but I always find that the quickest way is by doing the bus stop method. But again, if you've learned a new method to do it, or a different method I should say, then that's going to be absolutely fine as long as you are getting the correct answer. And let me just finish writing up the 24 times table, and that's where we stop. So looking at this, then we want to do 24 over, and then it's 185. So looking at this, well, we can see that we're going to end up with 168. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so the smallest number of tutor groups we can have is going to be 8, because 7 is just simply not going to be enough. For question 5, it says write down all the integers values of x, where x is between -2, inclusive of -2, and exclusive of 4. So again, one way of doing this is to write down all the numbers between -2 and 4. So I get -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if it's got an equal sign, it means we get to keep that number. If it doesn't, we get rid of it. So here we've got a line underneath the inequality of -2, so that one's fine. But we don't have one on 4, so I get rid of that and then just write down the list again. So I've got -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Question 6 says the temperature falls from 6 degrees by 10 degrees. So what this question is asking us to do is 6 minus 10, which gives us a final answer of -4. And moving on to question 7, it says the company has 19 workers. Each worker gets paid $285 per week. Use estimation to work out the approximate total weekly pay bill. So for this, what we need to do now, you may not agree to this, but we need to round each number to one significant figure. So this rounded up the 2 or to the 2, which represents hundreds. So the nearest 100 is 300. And this first significant number, which is 1, which represents tens. So we round this number up to the nearest 10, so that becomes 20. So then what I then want to do is do 20 multiplied by 300, which gives us 6,000. Now, question B then says, is your answer part A an overestimate or an underestimate? Well, it's going to be an overestimate. And the reason for that is because we used 20 instead of 19, which is a bigger number. And we used 300 instead of 285, which again is bigger. So therefore we've overestimated our final answer. Question 8 then says work out, and we just got to use BIDMAS to work this out. So what comes first, multiplying or adding? Multiplying does. So this is going to be 5 plus 4 times 3, which is 12, which gives us an answer of 17. Then for B, we want to do the 5 times 7 first. So that then gives us 35 minus 4, which gives us an answer of 31. Then moving on to question 9, it says 8 minus 12 plus 9. So again, we can just work this out normally from left to right. So that's going to be minus 4 plus 9, which gives me an answer of 5. Then we do 6 times 5, which is 30, and then 2 negatives become a positive. So you can write either 30 or plus 30 is absolutely fine. And then C, we're going to do 36 divided by 9, which is 4. Then we've got a positive and a negative, which gives us a negative answer. So moving on to question 10a, so our last question, it says circle the calculation that does not work out 29 times 32. Now for 1 mark, again, if you're not sure and can't see the actual answer, then you could guess, and you've only got 1 in 4 chance of doing that. However, let me just show you a way of doing it without actually having to work out each of the individual 4 calculations. Now if this was on the calculator, all you'd have to do is just simply type in each 4, work out what 29 times 32 is, and you'll know which one gives you the wrong answer. But let's do this, imagine if it was non-calculated. So if I imagine A was 29 and B was 32, then this here would equal either 32A or 29B. Now, in these calculations, you should have at least one of the numbers duplicated twice. So here we've got 32. Now, if I replace that with B, so then I've got 30B equal 30B take away B, which gives me 29B, and that matches up with that one, so that one is fine. Then looking at this second one here, I've got 29 twice, so let's write that and swap that for an A. So I've got 2A plus 30A, which gives me 32A, which is the same as that, so that one there is fine. Then looking at the fourth one here, I've got, well, this bit here is going to be, well, 32 is B, so that's going to be 20B plus 9B gives me 29B, which matches up with this, so that's correct. So the one that's not going to work is going to be this one, so I'm just going to put a little circle around that. So our incorrect answer is that bottom left hand corner. Looking at 10b, it says 21 times 22 equals 22 times 22, 20 times 22 plus 22, which is correct. Work out 21 times 22. Now, again, we're going to use this answer. So this yellow bit here, so 20 times 22 is 22 times 10, which is 220, times 2, which is 440. And then what I then need to do is add the 22. So it's 440 plus 22, which gives me 462 as my final answer.